Hi, I'm Dr. Cheryl Meyer. I almost forgot my own name. I've been on the phone for like 2 hours. I had a friend hike with me today via the phone. Super fun. Here, I'll show you the view again. It's so beautiful. So, I got all these downloads last night. That's why I wanted to make a quick video. And I'm going to call my friend back. So sometimes when we're living in our ego, I'll make this quick. When we're living in our ego, the ego mentality goes into the aggressor victim mode. And so the ego mentality always has a lack. And I've talked about this a number of times in other videos. But hold on, okay. Whoa. There's something on my screen, and then it just changed the lighting, so now I look orange. I didn't know that would change the lighting. I was just trying to fix this sticky thing on my screen. It's really weird. It's good to know. All right, now I look like an Oompa Loompa. I don't know how to switch this off. All right. I don't know how to switch this off. I look like I just got finished skiing. Oh gosh. All right. I don't know. That's hilarious. When we live in our ego, sometimes we get in this state of aggressor-victim mentality. And so we either think we have to be the aggressor or we're going to be the victim. And so we do all sorts of weird unconscious stuff in our relationships with other people. And there's no excuse for it. So I'm not excusing anyone. But sometimes we don't realize what we're acting out in. And so, like, let's say, and this is the dynamic that was coming to my mind last night, is if we grew up, let's say in early young childhood, and our parents were overwhelmed in their own ways, and like we felt abandoned as young children and we didn't get the love we needed from our moms or our dads. But mostly I was thinking of moms. Usually I talk about dad stuff, like girl with daddy issues. No, but there's a lot of mom stuff that I haven't looked into personally. It's just more been coming up in the last few years. But if you don't feel this warmth and affection from your own mom, then sometimes you can have weird relationships towards women. Like if you're a man with women or women with women even, where it's like, let's say if you're a man with women and you are acting from your ego place instead of this expanded place where you know your worth and you know your love. And when we get into that place of deep love in our hearts where we know our real worth, then we're not acting out this power struggle all the time. But when you don't know that, and most people they say are acting 95%, 90% from your subconscious, then you can act in this aggressor victim mentality towards other people. So it's like if your mom wasn't that affectionate or you felt abandoned as a child, then you might go find people to date, or people even in their marriages. There's power struggles that go on, and they play out their childhood anger towards their mom. This sounds like Freudian stuff, but they play it out in their relationship. So they'll do things to try to get even with their girlfriend or with someone they're dating or with their wife. And it's all this subconscious stuff that's acting out, their old energies from childhood that they don't realize they're acting out. And it's like really weird, but it's like trying to punish this other person. Because they're trying to punish the mom that didn't give them the love that they wanted in childhood. And it's stuff that we can't even remember. So it's so subconscious. But it's about getting it conscious so that we don't go hurt ourselves and go hurt other people just because we can, just because we're unconscious and we don't realize we're acting out some old dynamic. Like I remember this is a long time ago, someone who had control issues, you know, and it was like, hey, can you pass the remote control? Like they were sitting next to the remote control and they're like, you're being so controlling. And it's like, no, like you're sitting by the TV remote. Like you have control issues, you know, and it's like, you can't just call another person out and tell them what their issue. Even me as a psychologist, like I can't do that with my friends and people that are close to me, because it's their own lives and they kind of have to work those things out themselves. But, you know, it's important for you to be conscious about why certain patterns keep repeating in your life. If you have destructive patterns that keep repeating in your lives where all your relationships are ending the same way, or, you know, or we're afraid of intimacy, or we're afraid to be ourselves, or we stay distant, or we sabotage, whatever it is, it's worth getting to know. It's worth getting to know yourself and not being in judgment toward yourself, but just looking into it so that if you have old childhood wounds where you're still trying, I know the one that I was thinking about that I've talked about before is like where you're still trying to get an unavailable parent to be available. And so you find really demanding people in your life that are never satisfied because you're used to people never being satisfied with you in childhood. Then it's like, I'm still in this bright mode. I don't know how to get it off, but that's okay. Whatever. It's about the content of the video, not what I look like. But if you keep trying to find these people that you're never good enough for, it's like, oh, wait a second. I can just stop finding those people because I'm not interested in people that aren't going to like me for just being me, like aren't going to resonate with my vibration, my happiness, my joy, my presence, and welcome that. Like just find, once I welcome myself more and stop following the old pattern of what I internalized from my parents of how to be that way, that same demanding, unwelcoming way to myself. Once I stop, when you change that relationship with yourself and start seeing your value and your worth and how fun it is to be with yourself and just accept yourself as you are, even if you look like an Oompa Loompa because you were accidentally touching the screen or whatever happened, then you just start finding people that are the same way. And when you move beyond ego and into presence with yourself and into presence with other people, then it's just like you don't keep repeating that aggressor victim thing, like I'm a victim of you and you're the aggressor and you keep breaking my heart and blah, blah, blah. All that drama is just to the wayside. That's 3D. I watched a video yesterday. It was only like 6 minutes long. I'm like, how do these people do this in 6 minutes, you know? But she was talking about, maybe I'll put the link in. It might be weird for some of you guys, but whatever. Like I like exploring weird stuff. But she was talking about moving from the 3D way of operating to the 5D way of operating. Like a lot of people are talking about ascension and how this earth is changing and all our consciousness is changing. I love studying stuff like that. I'm just going to be me, you guys. So like if some of my videos get more and more weird, then that's just where we're going. So come with me or not. But I just love studying all this stuff and I love teaching it because I think about it and I know it from my practice and from my experience. So I'm not just rambling. I don't have to tell you guys that. I'm not trying to like live up to my perfectionist father or something anyway. But just be aware that you can have old wounds from childhood and they can get triggered. And sometimes they get triggered so that one of these buried wounds can come up and get cleaned out, like a wound that has all this infection and pus in it and you don't know because you just put a bunch of Band-Aids over it and covered over it and have a hardened heart over it. Sometimes it's a gift when someone triggers you, like it doesn't feel like it in the moment because it just breaks your heart and you're just crying your eyes out. Never had that happen. But, well, you guys already know from my other videos that it's happened before. But it's really weird. One of the other times it happened, it's like I call it, it's like if you have a wall and you hid something behind a wall and then put drywall and drywall and drywall. So there's like three layers of like white plaster that makes it look all great. But then something breaks it open and you find out there were these old wounds from childhood that never got cleared out. And you feel so much lighter because they got cleared out because you let go of the right stuff, you know? But what I was saying about the, not feeling held or feeling abandoned in early childhood, you can have this love-hate relationship then with your relationships where you don't want to get close, but then you feel really lonely when you're not close. And then you sabotage, and then you're really destructive and toxic to other people and toxic to yourself because you just don't trust that love is going to happen. And then you make it not happen, and then you hurt other people. All this stuff can happen. It's just learning how to raise your level of consciousness so we can move out of the aggressor-victim energy. And so I'll just keep teaching about that in my videos. It was so profound last night. I wrote it down in my notebook, but I didn't bring that notebook, I don't think, with me on my walk here today. So I'll just leave it at that. And hopefully that will resonate and start sowing seeds, that will come up more in other videos for us. All right, I wish you much love and happiness. Enjoy your life, even if we're in the middle of all this weirdness. Love you guys.